Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Good evening. Hi, this is Kevin, and I'm sorry that I haven't been doing podcasts for quite some time. This podcast, like most of my podcasts, is not scripted. I didn't write a script and speak. It is all pretty much impromptu. Yes, mentally I know what I want to speak on, and I do mentally in my mind have some 2 or 3 rough pointers to guide me in my head. But besides that, I don't have any things scripted out. So I thank you wherever you may be tuning in. Give me 10 seconds to advertise our online responsible tourism courses. If you go Google, you can probably find them too. I've not paid any IT people to push it up on the Google search list. But if you go online and you search for responsible tourism courses under the platform of Thinkific. Thinkific is the platform that I use to host these courses. As you can see from the title of this podcast, I've entitled it why must we pursue sustainable events? Something which I sometimes also talk about in the classroom. Here in Southeast Asia, there are more and more countries or destinations where the governments are now putting a stronger and stronger emphasis on sustainability in the tourism industry. Malaysia and Thailand, our neighbors, are pursuing sustainable events, and Singapore just published a guideline for sustainable events about 8-9 years ago. And so when we look at the events industry, where we have different all sorts, from festivals to concerts to live events, to community events, to business events, where you have the conferences, exhibitions and conventions, and you have live entertainment events. The events industry is really very big, with so many types, so many examples of people coming together to meet, to talk, to exchange views, to confer. So the meetings industry have existed for a long time, and it's now perhaps timely. We might be, in a sense, a little bit late, but as the saying goes, better late than never. The events industry is now having more and more sustainable practices, which we sometimes also like to call green practices. From encouraging the delegates not to drive but to take public transport, and public transport increasingly more and more countries. This also means transportation that is more sustainable, especially in the more developed countries. Events, some are big, some are small. And when you look at the registration of events, we also talk about going paperless. Going paperless is one way we ensure that we do our bit in saving the trees being cut. There are a lot of opportunities because there are a lot of things hosting events entail. So there are a lot of different tasks associated and included when we plan and host and run events. So sustainable events can also mean things like adjusting the menu, reconsidering the kind of food that you serve or don't serve, so that it meets 1 or 2 sustainable objectives. It can and it should also talk about things like using materials for your posters, for your standees, materials that are recyclable, ensuring that the event caterers or suppliers that you use are certified sustainable or have responsible practices in their businesses. So if you go online, you can quite easily find guidelines. It's more or less quite all over the internet. Very easy to find one or two. And so, yeah, this podcast not meant to be long. As you can tell from my speaking, like all the other podcasts or most of the other podcasts, it's not scripted. A scripted podcast probably won't sound like this. And so I enjoy talking about sustainability in the tourism and hospitality industry. Lots of things to talk about. Sustainable events is the way to go. In your countries, you may have thousands and thousands of events running through the year from January to end of the year. So that's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of things that is more gentler to the environment. Catch you next time. Remember to sign up, support my work, sign up for one or two of our online responsible tourism courses. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm quite active on LinkedIn if you happen to use that. Bye-bye.